Be able to catch up with my TBR from Book of the Month? Stick around and find out. Hi friends, welcome back to Pages and KS. And yes, it is that time again for Ketchupathon. This is year 4 of this readathon that is hosted by Krista at Books and Jams, Amy at Amy's Bookish Life, and they included a co-host this year from Desi Reads. I'll make sure to link all 3 of them below. And I am so excited. This is one of my favorite readathons every single year. So if you don't know what Ketchupathon is, it was originally started as a way to catch up on all of the books of the month that you have not read. And year 1 was we built a burger, hence the name Ketchupathon. And this year, they've included merch and I absolutely love it. They got t-shirts, you got the little ketchup bottle here, and it just says trying to catch up with my TBR. I absolutely love it. And they also have bookmarks, which I got as well. But each year we have had different prompts. We built a sundae one year, an ice cream sundae. Another year we built a cookout. And this year we are going to the movies. So all the prompts this year are based off of things that you would find when you go to the movies. So where are you gonna watch the movie? Is it gonna be at home? Is it gonna be in a theater, outdoors? What kind of snacks are you gonna have? What's your drink gonna be? What kind of movie are you gonna go see? So I absolutely love that, and make sure to check all of the prompts right here so you could see what I'm gonna build for this movie trip for Ketchupathon. So this year I'm actually building my TBR a little bit differently, and I can't take credit for this because I actually saw Krista do this, so I'm copying her because I thought that this was such a fun way to build her TBR for the next 2 weeks. And I have 7 books. I'm not gonna read all 7 books, maybe I will, we'll see how fast I get through them, but 7 books that I could possibly read for this these 2 weeks. 3 of them are definites that I want to get through, and we'll see how many others I can complete as well. But instead of taking each prompt and finding a book to fit each level, I actually pulled those 7 books and I'm going to build my movie experience based off of that book, because each book can fit multiple prompts. So I thought that was such a fun way to do it. Krista did it and she got a whole bunch of books that she pulled, so I'm gonna do it that way. So first up is Firekeeper's Daughter, and this is actually my July recommendation from Amy, and it's only fitting that she picked a Book of the Month club for my July recommendation because, you know, she was smart. She knew I was gonna be doing this Ketchupathon with them. So I'm very excited that I get to actually read this one because I've been putting it down and picking it back up, and it's just finally gonna get read this month. So with this book, this is going to be my experience. I'm going to be watching the movie at the movie theaters because for that prompt, it is some type of friendship based. And because this is heavily rooted in community, I feel like it would best fit that prompt. Community could also be at home because she does have to stay home and take care of her mom. But it seems like the biggest focus is on the community. So I'm going to watch this at the movie theater. It's going to be an animated movie because it's an illustrated cover. I am going to be watching an action movie because this is listed as a mystery or thriller. My snack is going to be candy because this is one of my most anticipated books on this pile. I am going to maybe get a soda. I'm not sure. I really don't think drink would fit because drink is neutral color covers, bright covers, or simple covers. It's definitely not simple. I don't think this is very bright in color. I feel like it's more neutral because you have like the creams, you know, kind of like muted blues. But then this to me doesn't really say neutral. So maybe a soda. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna get a drink this trip. And this is going to be a size large for my candy because this is over 450 pages. And if I get a soda, it will be 5 prompts that I would complete. So I will have 5 people coming with me to the movies. Or if I don't have the soda, I'm not sure. If I really think this fits that, you let me know. Does this fit a simple or neutral cover? Then it would be 4 prompts, so 4 people are going to come with me to the movies. Next up is The Heartless Hunter, and I'm very excited to finally sit and get to this. And the audio came in finally after months from the library because I always have to have an audio on standby for when I'm cleaning the house and I'm driving, things like that. But this is actually about a revolution where witches are now exiled and they're banished and their powers have been taken away from them. And Rue is this like vigilante witch. I think she's called the Crimson Moth. and she is basically trying to help witches who are being hunted down by witch hunters. And of course, she meets Gideon, who is a witch hunter, and this is an enemies to lovers book, so I can't wait to read this. But if I do get to this one, I am going to be once again seeing the movie in the theaters, because friendship, lovers, really, you know, I mean, and the fact that she's helping the community, helping witches, so I feel like this would fall under friendship. This would be a live action, because I think it's more of a realistic cover. It's not animated, but you can kind of see like this moth here looks like a realistic pin. And this would actually be a rom-com fantasy, because this is a romantasy book, so it would fit two genres. So that's what my movie would be. This would be Candy, because this is one of my most anticipated books that I have been waiting to read. I was just waiting for the audio to come in. I don't think I would be getting a drink, because again, it's not really a simple cover. I wouldn't say it's very bright. Neutrals, I'm not sure if this would fit neutrals. If you think it fits neutrals, then I guess I would be getting another soda. The size would be medium, because it's between 300 and 450 pages. And I would be taking, again, 4 people with me to the movies. The next book that I definitely want to get to is First Time Caller. This is described as a Sleepless in Seattle inspired retelling. This is about Aiden, who's the host of a romance radio show, and he's just like giving up on romance and love. And then this kid calls in, just like on Sleepless in Seattle, and says like, listen, I need help for my mom. You know, I want her to be happy. And so he helps this young girl give her advice for his mom. And Lucy is now questioning life and whether or not romance should be included in her life. But now everybody in Baltimore has heard her daughter call into the radio show. So now the radio host is like trying to pull strings for her behind the scenes. But of course, the two of them wind up having a spark. And, you know, she has to decide, is she going to go for that or for, you know, the other people that she meets along the way? And I mean, I've seen everybody that has read this has just fallen in love with this book, so I cannot wait. So if I pick this up, again, seeing this in a theater, friendship, but maybe actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. I feel like this would be seeing this at home, because Lucy's daughter is the one who calls in, and so that would be, you know, she wants to help her mom, which is family. So I'm going to change that. This would be watching this at home. It's an illustrated cover, so it would be an animated movie. It's a rom-com because it is a romance book. I'd be getting an icy because I feel like this is a very bright cover. The size would be a medium because it's 448 pages, so it's between 350 and 450 pages. And I would be taking 4 people with me once again to watch this movie. All right, next up is Phantasma. This was a book that I've heard so many things about. Anybody that reads romantasy or romance or fantasy, I've seen read this book. This was actually one of the books of the year finalists, so I have to give it a try. So this is about Ophelia, whose mom is murdered, and leaves Ophelia with inheriting her family's debt and her family's magic. And the only way to pay off her debt is to enter in or get a loan from entering into Phantasma. And her sister thinks that that is the best way to get this debt. So now Ophelia has to save her sister by taking part in Phantasma. So this is where it's this cursed manor, and there's like all of these different floors in the manor, and you have to make your way through each one of these floors. And of course, it's a very deadly competition, and the winner gets one wish. So I guess her wish would be to get out of debt and to save, you know, her family fortune and things like that. And of course, she meets a stranger who says he can help, but should she trust him? I don't know. So I'm excited for this as well. This, I feel like, would be family focused because, of course, Ophelia is protecting her sister. So this would be at home. This, I feel like this is a realistic cover. It's definitely not animated. You got a skull on here. So this would be a live action. I'd be watching a fantasy because it is a fantasy. My snack, I think, for this one would be popcorn because out of all the books that I pulled, this is one of the highest rated. No soda or drink or anything like that because, again, I don't think it's a bright color. It's definitely not a simple cover, and it's not neutral. And my size would be a large because it is 497 pages, and my company would be 4 people. Okay, the next 3 books are maybes. I am going to probably do try chapters with them first and see which one of these I would pick up once I get through the other 4, or if I get through the other 4. The first one is Weyward. I keep going back and forth with this one every time I try to pick it up. The hold for the audio on the library doesn't come through, so I never get to read it. But Weyward takes place in 3 different timelines. So 2019, Kate inherits Weyward College from her great aunt, but she figures out that she has a secret. This cottage is overgrown with all of this beautiful like vines and things like that. It's like hidden away. The next timeline is 1619 with Althea, who is on trial for possibly being a witch. And then in 1942, during World War II, Violet finds a locket that has a W in it, and then she finds the word Weyward at the bottom of her baseboard in her bedroom. And this is all about women resilience, and I just love the tagline in the beginning. It says, "I am wayward and wild inside." So I am going to hopefully get this read during these next 2 weeks as well. So this is nature focused, so I'd be watching this movie outdoors. It is a realistic cover, okay, so live action, historical fiction, so I'd be watching a period piece. This would be, I feel like, a soda. I feel like these are all neutral colors. You got very nature neutral colors on this cover. And then my size for this would be a medium because it's 392 pages. So I would be taking 4 people with me to the outdoor theater, maybe the drive-in, to watch this. Next up is Circe. Now, it's a little beat up here. And that's because I've tried this book before, but I didn't unhaul it. I'm gonna try it again. We'll see. I just wasn't enjoying it the first time, but I wasn't really in the right mindset, I don't think, to read it the last time I tried, so I am going to try this one again. But this is about Circe, who gets banished because she has befriended mortals, and she finds out that her powers are that she can turn her enemies into these monsters. So she gets banished to this island where she meets all of these different people and gods and all of these different people along the way. I don't really know a lot about Circe's story and about the Greek gods' stories that include her, so I'm interested to see about this retelling and then maybe go do some research on what her actual story is from the Greek mythology. But this is nature focused, so I would say outdoors. It's the oldest on my TBR that I pulled, so this would be a classic. I would be watching a classic. It would be a fantasy, and I would be having nachos for my snack because this probably is nacho best choice. That's what nachos stand for. So maybe not my best choice because I already DNF'd it once, so we'll see. I feel like it's a simple cover, so it would be water because literally it's just her face on black. So water for my drink, and the size would be medium, so 385 pages. So that would be 5 people that would come to see this movie with me. And last is The Anomoly. This has been on my TBR since June of 2018, and I figure now is as good a time as any to do a try chapter and see if it's one that I actually am still interested in. This is described as Indiana Jones meets the X-Files. So this is about Nolan, who is a rogue archaeologist who is retracing the steps of this explorer from 1909 through the Grand Canyon because there's this mysterious cavern that's like hidden away, and he's determined to find it because this explorer in 1909 found it, but it turns out there's a lot of mysteries along the way. Something like, you know, mysterious and possibly dangerous is happening. So I'm excited to see if this is actually worth it. So this would be outdoors because it's nature focused, because he's going on a trip through the Grand Canyon to find this cavern. This is my second oldest out of this list on my shelf, so I feel like this would be a classic. It would be a action movie because this is listed as a mystery thriller. I think would also be nachos because maybe it wasn't my best choice when I actually got it. It might have just been like a past interest of mine, but we'll see. I might surprise myself. Water because it's extremely simple cover. And my size for my snacks and my water would be a medium because it's 352 pages. And I would be taking I'd be taking 5 people with me to see this movie. So there you have it. That's my pile of possibilities for Ketchupathon this year. Have you read any of these books? Did I make some good choices, or am I better off just unhauling them? I'm interested to hear what you have to say. And also let me know, are you participating in Ketchupathon? How many books are on your pile of possibilities? And if you just want to let me know that you are here, but you don't really have much to say, then leave any type of emoji that deals with the movies down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I can't wait to see how many of these books I get read in these next 2 weeks. Well, that's all I have for now. Bye.